I congratulate you on your detective skills, Zero, but it is X who deserves my admiration. His innocence is what makes him special, you see. He's an incredible reploid specimen. Wouldn't you agree?
Commander Sigma, what are you doing? Let him go, please!
Now's your chance, X. Fire. If you really want to stop me, you'll have to shoot, destroying Zero in the process. What's the matter? Shoot! Yes! You can't do it, can you, X?
Zero!
Welcome to the Cable Club. We're a retro video gaming podcast where three guys always be charging, and this is episode number 50. We're your hosts. I'm Steve.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Don.
And today we're talking about one of our favorite games of all time, Mega Man X.
One of the few things we all agree on.
We agree
Hell
on
yeah.
plenty. Don't even. So get ready to upload data from us to you. But first, let's set the mood. It's 1994, and it's the end of the school year. You've been trying extra hard this year to get your grades up to the honor roll of your freshman year of high school. Your dad would always get you something for the summer if you kept your grades up. He was good like that. You could hardly wait that night. You showed him your report card, and all of your hard work was sure to culminate into something awesome. The very next day, you woke up late from being up for half the night with anticipation. Your dad said, "Get dressed, we're going to head over to Funko Land." Once you arrived, there were all kinds of new and exciting games on the shelves. Demo consoles everywhere, tons of kids running around in amazement. Your dad and you walked straight up to the counter, and he said to the clerk, "We're here to pick up a Super Nintendo and whatever game this young man wants," as he put his arm around your shoulder with a proud smile on his face. All of the exciting alarms are going off in your brain because you knew exactly what SNES game you wanted. You pointed over to the box that contained Mega Man X. You've been waiting for this with such anticipation you could hardly feel your legs. A whole new story, a brand new upgraded Mega Man, 8 new robots known as Mavericks, and on a whole new console. This was definitely going to be a summer to remember.
I can't wait to talk about this.
We all know the leg parts are the most important. You couldn't feel your legs. It's very important to feel your legs when you play Mega Man X.
Yeah, because you gotta
Absolutely.
dash.
You need a wall kick.
Guys, I have played so much Mega Man lately, so you might not know what I've been doing on the side, but I took it upon myself to go back and revisit the NES Mega Mans, all 6 of them, over like the last month and a half or so. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to appear on another podcast somewhat soon. I don't want to pull back the curtain on them, but where I talk about Mega Man: The Wily Wars. And then it came up that we were playing this game, and I think I've just played Mega Man for like the last 45 days or so. That's been my entire gaming experience, and I think I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Definitely could be worse things to be playing for 45 days straight.
For sure.
Absolutely agree, but my skills are sharp right now.
Good.
But interestingly enough, do you guys know why Wily Wars never came to the US?
I actually don't know.
Nah, I don't know.
So it never came to the US supposedly because Capcom was afraid that it would compete with Mega Man X sales, which launched in the same year. So they put it as this like Sega Channel download, which like completely ruined the experience of that game to make sure that Mega Man X got put to the forefront.
Wow.
Just interesting little tidbit.
I mean, I'm not going to say whether or not that the Mega Man X series is way better than Wily Wars because I haven't played it, but I would assume it is. Mega Man
Yeah,
X is so good.
I would definitely agree with that. Anywho, so I have a couple of announcements. One is that we are almost through our league. We got a couple other games coming up, and we're looking for folks who want to join in. We need specifically another 4 people to round out the league. So if you're someone who's been hanging out, listening for a while, and you're thinking, man, there is a game that I really want them to cover, but they haven't. Go ahead and shoot us an email over at thecableclubpodcast@gmail.com or join our Discord and hit us up over there. And chances are we'll probably let you on the show. Qualifications are pretty low. So,
I mean, look at us. We're not qualified for anything.
right? That's why we're doing a podcast about retro games. And then I just wanted to comment on the merch a little bit. It's still coming. We're still working on it. We're trying to get our designs perfect, and we're trying to go with the right vendor that provides a quality product. So we'll have that out eventually, and more announcements on that to come. And that is what I had for announcements. Are you guys ready to talk about Mega Man X?
Let's do it. Mega Man X is an action side-scrolling platform for the SNES. It was developed and published by Capcom and released in 1993 of December in Japan and in January 1994 for North America. And it's a sub-series. I hate calling it that, but it's a sub-series of the original Mega Man franchise.
So wait. So when you say sub-series, I feel like you're talking about like it's a side dish. You know, like it's your cream corn or your
Well, it's a
mashed potato.
spin-off.
So
Yeah.
I would argue that Mega Man X is like your surf and turf. Okay, you got your fillet and your lobster. All right, maybe your Mega Man Classic is your fillet and your X is your lobster, but they're 2 substantial portions of the same dish. We're like doubling up
Yeah.
on our entrees here.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, personally, I love Mega Man X a decently amount more than the original Mega Man. I just love Mega Man X. Anywho, it was led by the legendary Keiji Inafune and his staff when he worked at Capcom. I'm pretty sure he doesn't work for Capcom anymore. Well, I actually, for a fact, I know that because he went on his own to make Mighty Number 9, which ended up not doing so well.
So, fun fact, he's actually the lead designer of Mega Man, but not necessarily credited with being his sole creator, like writing and stuff like that. Which is why we still get Mega Man games today. So,
Right?
Just not X games. Sad face.
So I don't think a lot of people actually know like the lore behind Mega Man X, especially the first game doesn't really like talk about it all that much. And the games in general just don't really do it justice. Our listeners out there, I kind of just want to like set the events leading up to the first game. So it's basically set 100 years after the original Mega Man series. Like Mega Man's a totally different robot. I know like some people thought like he might have been like a strict upgrade, to the original Mega Man. But no, Dr. Light actually made him as his own thing. Mega Man X is his greatest creation yet. And he basically seals him away for 30 years because he has the ability to like think on his own, act on his own, and he just doesn't think the world is not near ready for a robot like that. So he gets sealed away.
That, like, I'm not ready for that. Like,
I'm not either. Like in real world, no, I'm not either.
yeah,
Man, AI is coming.
Well, it's already here. Have you ever gone to like Chat GPT and asked it, pretend I'm your therapist? And
Well, I know that this is.
God.
I know that this is kind of off topic, but I do want to say that AI is going into quantum computing, which will allow it to think more like humans than we even thought possible.
Oh,
It's wild.
Just go talk to it about therapy. It's more human than you think already.
Oh, God, it's crazy.
All right, Mega Man sealed away for 30 years. People aren't ready.
No. Different character. Not
Mega Man X.
Not Mega Man. Just X.
Don't correct
X.
me. We all know.
All right. So, he was supposed to be sealed for 30 years, but he didn't end up getting discovered for almost 100 years. So he was in there 3 times longer than anticipated. But he was discovered by Dr. Kane, who was an archaeologist. And I think he was a scientist, kind of like Dr. Light was. And he was just astounded, like, how advanced X was. decided to mass produce him as the best that he could. And these new robots that could act and think on their own were referred to as Reploids in that day and age. You know, it ushered in a new era for humans and Reploids alike. Like I said, he couldn't get it, you know, exactly right. So, you know, some Reploids, you know, would become faulty and revolt. And these were referred to as like Mavericks. Dr. Kane ended up making like his greatest masterpiece ever, which was actually Sigma. And it was like the strongest version closest to X. And he became the leader of the unit known as the Maverick Hunters. X would eventually join this group. He was only classified as like a B-class hunter because he was pretty hesitant on what he would do. He would always like hold his fire if he thought like, you know, an ally was in danger of getting hit and stuff like that. His rank was, you know, significantly lower because of that.
Is a B rank hunter specifically, while Zero is an SA level hunter.
Yeah, because Zero's ruthless, dude. Like he just goes in there.
It turns out Wily had the magic formula after all.
I know, he must have.
So we're
Dr. Light stole Wily's.
Stole everything, pretty much.
Oh man, Wily.
But yeah, so this, you know, this would make great strides for like peace for humans and Reploids. Zero, who was, you know, a Reploid himself, similar to X, was created by Dr. Wily, as we just said. He finds Zero in an abandoned warehouse, and you don't really know about this until like X4. Sigma actually tells his unit to hold off. Believe it or not, Sigma was like, you know, genuine and like a good guy. He didn't want any of his, you know, units getting destroyed because he knew how, just by gauging Zero, he just knew like this isn't good. Like I'm just going to go in there and see if I can handle him myself because I don't want you guys getting, you know, destroyed. So they end up going, you know, 1v1. Zero is basically like in an animalistic state. Like he's just like crazy. Like
there's a W in that thing on his head to tell you it's a Wily bot.
Pretty much. And then, you know, they're going after it, but like eventually like Zero just ends up like getting the one up over him. And is basically he was going to give him the killing blow to Sigma. But then all of a sudden, like that W shows up on his head, and it basically like renders him like useless or whatever. Like he ends up holding his head, and you know, like he's got like a massive migraine or something. But then
he goes anime beast mode. We've seen this before.
Yeah, and then Sigma, you know, takes this as like a cheap shot to him. He punches him right in the gem, and then renders him unconscious. And then Sigma basically says, you know, get that Maverick studied after
right
he gets
right in the gem, not in the jewels.
Yeah, right in the gem, dude.
Right in the family gem.
Yeah, you know, Zero eventually ends up joining the Maverick Hunters, but like slowly but surely, Sigma ends up like becoming not himself anymore. Eventually, he just goes AWOL and becomes like the, you know, Maverick that he is today. Basically, to sum it up, that's where Mega Man X starts. Sigma becomes a Maverick, and then X and Zero have to stop it.
And this is one of those classic SNES games. Like, you know, I think when you say the SNES, a lot of people, the top 10 games they would think of, this game is probably in it. And this story that we're talking about, particularly Dan's bit about Sigma starting out as a good guy and then finding X, was later released as an OVA as part of, I think it was a PSP game remake.
Yeah, the Maverick Hunter remake, yep.
Which was many, many years later. So we just were left to accept the fact, even when I started playing X, this information wasn't out there. Your imagination just had to fill in the gaps of what happened over the last 100 years. But Mega Man X takes place in what is essentially a post-apocalyptic world where there aren't many humans left and there's just Reploids. And it's unclear if... First of all, it's very hard to tell who's human and who's Reploid. They're all wearing armor of some sort. I think those are just Reploid bodies. But my understanding is some of them, like Dr. Kane, are human. But it's easy to mistake Dr. Kane for a Reploid just because of the suit he's wearing. So it's very hard to tell who's human and who's not. And there's just... It's hard to tell if the Reploids are protecting the humans or if they're protecting themselves against Mavericks, because Maverick is the word they use when one of these things
Criminal,
goes postal.
basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah. I know X was, you know, programmed, I guess you could say, to like, you know, protect humans and whatnot.
X is. I
and
just
have
don't know what the
peace.
rest of them are
Oh
doing.
yeah, I have no idea. Like,
Yeah, it's
nobody was, Dr. Light, so Dr. Kane could do the best that he could, and who knows like how he programmed them to like think and and act.
and so the internet is rife with fan theories as to how we got from point A to point B. And I think until very recently, my imagination filled in like X was just an upgrade of Rock. That at some point, Wily and Light just ran the arms race until finally we had to give Rock an upgrade, and then we got
I
our Mega Man X. But no,
Yeah,
apparently not.
I think a lot of people thought of that way as well. And Zero like could have been like an upgrade for like Proto Man or something, like, because
Dropped him like
yeah.
last year's iPhone model, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know. And one of my theories is that Zero was created relatively early, and we had a couple things to go off of. So there was that show. Remember that Mega Man show where Mega Man was ripped,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and
Saturday morning cartoons, baby.
and Roll was like 30 years old or something. Um, so there's one episode where Vile and Spark Mandrill come back from the future and fight ripped Mega Man, and ripped Mega Man can't scratch them with his plasma
Dude, they're
buster.
they're all ripped.
And there's some kind of yeah, Cutsman is cut up. Yeah. uh and he can't damage them. Their armor is made of something that's repellent to his blaster. So I would assume Zero is made of the same stuff. So my theory was that Zero was created before X, and I think the series mentions that Zero's older than X. And then I just assumed Zero bodied Rock, and then Light had to go upgrade and make X.
He's like,
Yeah,
well,
Wily
shit.
did make Zero before Light made X.
And we were just introduced to these characters in this first game. So you boot the game up, you might surf the options, switch your dash to the R button, because that's where
Yeah.
it belongs, not the circle. Unless you're Dan. Dan's like a god with the circle. I don't understand how, but he is.
I just been playing it like for years like that, but like I've been trying to adapt by hitting the R1 button.
That
Like
is so
but
nice.
but the thing is, I like having both. I don't like having just one of them, because like there's times where I want to hit circle to dash, and then there's times I want to hit R1.
You like doing the claw grip where you get your hand on top and you're kind of like,
No, no,
No,
but
the square button's the pivot point where you slide
Yeah.
your hand around.
it's hard
it's
to
tough.
shoot and dash,
Yeah.
right?
It's hard to shoot, dash, and jump at the same time while holding a charge shot. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so we went from jumping and shooting to dash, shooting, and jumping all at the same time. You got to be hitting 3 buttons. That's kind of why I do it.
Yeah.
It's a
Especially in
combat.
some of the later titles.
It's a combat-oriented platforming game, so you have to be moving like all the time.
Yeah, and the boss battles are much more dynamic, I think, as a result of that movement.
Yeah, because you can in this game you can climb walls by
Yeah.
jumping on them. So, like the old Mega Man, you did have some verticality in your game, but not nearly as much as X does.
Yeah, and it's just so much faster pace too, just because of you can dash, jump off of walls and stuff, and yeah, the game's just crazy fast.
So you're basically thrown in to this first level, and it's very reminiscent of regular Mega Man. You can't even dash yet. It's just walk and jump and shoot and standard fare with a early 90s coat of paint, so it's extra edgy. And you get to the end of the stage, and you come up to the boss, which again is nothing new to the series so far. And then no matter what happens, you have to lose that fight. And it's a really great storytelling moment. I would liken it to Super Metroid, and I'm probably going to catch flack for that. But as a kid, it's devastating to lose that fight.
Yeah.
Like you just can't win it, and it forces you to actually fight it. It's not like a scripted one hit. Like you have to fight it and lose. And then this other character shows up, Zero. He's this red Mega Man with this more powerful buster, and he blows that boss away that you couldn't beat and chases him off. And it just goes from there. So, you have this Mega Man game with new characters, new setting, new bad guys.
Yeah. So I think what they were trying to go for with like the Vile fight was like sort of like a progression thing, where it's like it basically telling you you're not strong enough to take on said enemy, but when Zero like basically one shots him and he retreats, Zero himself basically tells him that like, you can be as strong as me eventually, but like I'm gonna go off ahead and see if I can find Sigma. But like he basically tells you like, fight these Mavericks and eventually you'll be on my level, which I
Go
think
back
is
to the base.
yeah. Unfortunately, base X is crap. Like Zero, shits all over him.
It's just Baby X broke a nail. This is back and forth throughout the series between Zero and X that kind of evolves later, and this is kind of the start of it, where you aspire to be as cool as Zero is, and in theory, at the end of the game, you're cooler than he is.
Do you guys want to know a fun fact that Zero was actually supposed to be the main character of the Mega Man X series, but they overturned that decision because they thought like the fans wouldn't have liked like a drastic change. So they made Zero be a secondary character instead of being the main character.
Well, he got the last laugh anyway.
Well, you get to play as Zero in every X game after starting in X3, right?
Yes, yep.
So, he's kind of like pretty much a main character at that point.
Yeah, you can't even say that about X because you can't play as him in 7 until optimistically halfway through the game.
That
If
was-
you were good.
It's called Mega Man X7, but you can't play as him.
Yeah. Oh boy. So once you're into the game, once you pass that stage, it's going to look very familiar. It looks like a typical Mega Man game, but it plays a little different. So I don't know. I think I already knew you guys, so I knew I had to go after Chill Penguin first. But when you guys booted this up, how many levels did you play before you found the boot part that let you dash?
I honestly, I don't even remember. Like I remember the first time I like played this game, but I don't remember like how I played it. It was just like I remember my dad was like renting this place, and like the landlord's kid brought down his like SNES with Mega Man X, and I've never played a Mega Man X game before, and I was like, oh my god, like I need to play that. And eventually, I fell in love with the series. But like just to go back to what you were saying, like I don't remember like the very first. It had to have been the boots, right? Like it's the one that like eventually you see, like it's not hidden or whatever.
It's not missable. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as a kid, like you probably died in every stage. You probably tried every stage before you got to a boss. So like you eventually would have gotten it.
Yeah, I think the first time that I played Mega Man X actually was I played X5 first, and then I got a Super Nintendo. I think I was maybe in like the 7th grade, and I got Mega Man X with it, and that was the first time I played the first Mega Man X. And one of my friends who had played it before said to do Chill Penguin first because you get the boots. So I think like the first time I played the original X, I actually did do Chill Penguin first because I was instructed to.
So the boots in this game let you dash. And I would say, if you were to say, Don, what is the chief difference between Mega Man X and classic Mega Man? I would tell you it's dashing.
Yeah, I would say dashing and like
walls.
wall kicking is definitely up there, but definitely dash first.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you brought up wall kicking because this game really carried forward in a big way the way that Mega Man as a series teaches the player.
Well, Mega Man had slide, but he never had wall kicks.
Yeah, well, the problem with slide is you couldn't carry the momentum like into a jump, which made it like not near as fast paced.
Well, no, but I mean it's like akin to the dash, but there is no wall kicking in original Mega Man.
No,
they're both like fundamental gameplay differences.
right.
And in Mega Man X, you can wall kick without the boots. So
yeah,
it is a base game mechanic that you start with.
Yeah, especially with like boss fights and stuff. It's like, oh god, I need to wall kick. It's just like one of those things that like it just makes going like maneuvering around bosses so much easier. Like you just have so much verticality in like boss fights that like it just opens up new strategies and stuff that on how to like tackle these bosses.
The upper like left or right corner is often my safe space if I don't know what a boss is
doing. Right.
The boss is throwing its fit. I'm like, oh my god, get up there, get up there.
I hate when like they throw a boss at you that has no walls. Like I'm talking like Vile, for example. I'm like, no, dude, come on.
when he's in
My
the
weakness. That's X's weakness, having no walls.
So the game, we live in an era now where I feel like we're tutorial to death. Although it's getting a little bit better. I think video game development has heard our cries, and I think tutorials are letting up a little bit. But this game and Mega Man, I'd say, as a series, does a great job at teaching you. So that wall kicking is not something you can do if you didn't pick up the manual. But the game
Yeah.
very quickly throws you into a pit that you cannot jump out of.
Yeah, it's
After
excellent. Like
Yeah.
the intro stages were such a good addition to like the Mega Man series. It just like it's basically your tutorial. Like it'll throw like everything that you need to know before you even start like the fighting the Mavericks. And like they don't like really tell you what to do, but like as you said, like you'll fight one of those like big B things, you blow it up, it breaks the floor underneath you, and then now you're in this hole, and then you have to wall kick out. It's like eventually you figure out, oh hey, I can kick off a wall, and then you eventually figure out that hey, I can actually chain these together to get out of here. It's excellent.
And this passive teaching thing, I feel like is something the indie scene has really taken and ran with, if we're going to use a modern example of something that does it. And I really do think it's the best way to teach players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
instead of like tons and tons of dialogue boxes and trying to
right.
like implement your story with the tutorial level, and you're really just trying to play the game and somebody's trying to talk to you. It's like, it's like when you're trying to read a book and your buddy won't shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's annoying because it's like I would say 99% of gamers like they want to figure stuff out. Like they don't need to be told like every little thing.
Some stuff is so remedial too. It's like walk up to that thing, and it's like use your stick to walk, and you're like, yeah, thanks. And, or it's like press this button to attack, and you're like, You see how
Yeah.
you did damage there?
It's crazy.
That
It's like
was-
they act like you don't even know how to turn on the system to play the damn thing. It's like
Is it plugged in? Is it turned on?
Yeah, it's like the way that they describe like stuff to you or tell you how to do things. They might as well go way back in the manual and be like, okay, make sure your system is in the on direction, or like press the button on. Make sure your controller's connected.
It's like
Pick
you're in
up
the
controller.
you're in the tutorial and it says open your user manual and turn to page 15.
Like you might as well, like if you're gonna go that in depth over stupid stuff like that. But I'm glad they're like letting up on that somewhat.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit better. They're assuming that not everyone is a complete idiot. And I think that's what these games did. So Mega Man is famous for showing you something in a controlled environment, especially if it's a new gimmick, and then immediately after testing your skill with that gimmick. So I think of something like the disappearing blocks in Mega Man. The first time you encounter that obstacle, it's not a hard one, but then it gets gradually more ridiculous.
It also, I don't think it even has an enemy, the first one. So like you're no pitfall, no nothing. It's literally playground.
Yeah, it starts layering on.
Yeah.
Mega Man X does that. They show you the wall kick, and then you fight bosses, and you're expected to use the wall kick. Because I think it's probably not possible to dodge every boss attack without wall kicking.
I'm not really sure. I've never like tried that, but you're probably right on that.
So what I like about Mega Man X as a series too is the boss fights feel extremely fair, and I grade this on can I beat it with the Buster without doing something stupid like playing hit for hit. Like I think of Airman in the original Mega Man game. Like it's almost impossible to dodge that guy. Like, is it fair in the sense that it is possible for me to dodge every hit? Some base Mega Man bosses, like Quick Man, feel like an absolute mess. Like there's just no pattern. They're all over the place.
You're supposed to time stop him.
They're just jumping all over you. You can't even hit them because they're like inside you and your pellets are going the other way. Like that's not X. It doesn't really go that way.
The only boss that I would say in X that's kind of like that is Sting Chameleon. And that's when he like jumps with his tongue and he like shakes the vines and you have all that like debris falling on top of you. Like that's kind of ridiculous to dodge. But like other than that, I can't think of a move that like you just can't straight up just dodge with ease if you just know how it works.
It is something
The
that's a
the,
staple of the series, though. Oh,
the
sorry,
other
Steve. Go
boss
ahead.
that I have a hard time dodging is actually there's two of them. Launch Octopus. Like some of his attacks are really hard to dodge.
Oh, like the fish homing missiles? Like
Yeah, and the other one is I actually find Boomer Coinger to be really tough if you don't have his weakness.
the Buster's actually really strong against him because when you shoot him, like he actually
He
like
falls
flinches. Yeah,
backwards.
he
Yeah.
flinches. So like you can't like stun lock him, but you can get pretty close.
Yeah, and the X bosses aesthetically, like the Mega Man games, they all have man at the end of their name, and they're all humanoid.
Yeah.
In this, they're somewhat bestial, but they all tend to have human hands, which is its own kind of creepy.
I've actually never like thought of that, but like
Def
yeah, you're right.
McWhalen.
Yeah, he's a whale, but then he has like arms and human hands, like fingers. They're not even good for swimming underwater, but he has them.
Yeah. I never put two and two together now that you've mentioned it, but yeah, you're
It's
right.
pretty funny.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're all animals, and the series gets really contrived. I think that's a good way to say it. The first game is not too bad. You got like Sting Chameleon, Spark Mandrill, which is maybe a little bit contrived, but he's a big baboon, so he's a
Yeah.
monkey, whatever.
Armored
right?
armadillo.
Yeah, armored armadillo. Yeah, no kidding. But then like I think it's the third game. There's like a sea sponge, or like a sea cucumber
I think
boss.
that's the second game. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
so
sure.
you know
Yeah.
it gets weird, and later on there's like a sunflower, and you know we
Optic
just
Sunflower.
we just go like off the rails here.
Earth Rock Trilobite.
Ride
Yeah.
Borsky.
Here.
You punk, you punk, you punk.
So you know it's a different kind of vibe to it, but I did want to bring it up because it is sort of funny. How you go from fighting these other robots to fighting animals.
Yeah. There's
Joe Penguin gets a lot of screen time in that OVA.
X, what are you doing?
Like, why?
Shoot the damn thing.
He's in every scene. He gets as much screen time as Zero does. Like,
He should have been the main
ridiculous.
character. Come on.
He basically is.
Well, he is the coolest.
And I like how Storm Eagle shows up at one point in it. He walks out of the shadows, and I'm just like, please start playing the song. It doesn't. But
I
it
thought you were about to say he walks out of the shower.
In a bath towel.
he has
He's a robot.
He not only has human hands, he has a man chest too.
Ridiculous.
So X is like one of those series like Castlevania. Like, oh, Dracula did it again. Sigma did it again. This is the first time we see it. So
Yeah.
This game also, like, you know, just like the original Mega Man, there's a weakness pattern. Everybody has a weakness. So they kept that. That's like the biggest Mega Man-y thing is the Buster and the weaknesses.
Yeah. Well, another thing that they've added too was like a progression system. Like basically, it kind of has like RPG elements where it's like every stage has a heart tank, so like you get like a little bit of life. By the time you collect all of them, like I think your life is like doubled.
yeah, you increase your max health.
Right.
Yeah.
You get sub tanks, which is basically the E tanks from the original Mega Man, but these are like permanent. So like you can just if you have full health and you pick up a health upgrade, it'll actually go into your sub tank for later use.
You know, by 21XX, we've learned that recycling is important. So we reuse our water bottles in 21XX. We don't just crush them up and throw them away.
Right. And I think the biggest like progression system, in my opinion, is definitely the armor that X gets.
Staple of the series.
Right. So like obviously the boots will gives him the ability to dash. The armor, in the first game, he takes half damage, which is significant in this game because X can be pretty hard if you don't really, play X games. Like not having that armor, like it's devastating.
If you didn't have armor or the upgrades, like Sigma's gonna almost one-shot you.
Yeah, so to put it into context, I tried to play this game with no upgrades and Buster only, and I got all the way up to the final battle with Sigma, like that gauntlet, and I just couldn't do it. I just
Humbled.
could not. beat it. It was too hard. Every boss after like the Maverick levels will two-shot you by simply touching you. You know, that just goes to show you just like how important it is to like just have the upgrades. Like this game is almost near impossible to beat if you have nothing. So like I said, the armor gives you like half damage taken. The helmet's kind of on the weaker side, in my opinion. It breaks blocks, but what it essentially does, it helps you unlock, you know, other upgrades. So like if you have the head, you can get like the arm cannon early, and because like if you don't get the arm cannon through Flame Mammoth stage, you'll get it through Zero in the first Sigma level. But basically, what the arm cannon does is it gives you a third tier of a charge shot, and it also gives you the ability to charge special weapons, which is very unique to the series that, you know, the original series didn't have.
Right.
Yeah, not until later.
Oh wait, I mean, actually, some didn't they? Like, wasn't there an ability in 2 where you could charge it and shoot it, or was it like 3? I don't remember.
Two had the like Mega Man 2 had the atomic fire that is just a charge up weapon.
Yeah.
But Mega Man 8, I believe there are charge attacks for your super weapons or for your.
That came out on the
Master
PlayStation,
weapon.
so X had it first.
Interesting.
Yeah, it definitely created it for the series.
Yeah. But like essentially you have like 16 different weapons because of that, which is pretty neat. And a lot of them are unique. Like they act, you know, significantly different from one another. Like the original shot versus the charge shot is a big enough difference to be like their own identity.
And the other thing about the armors is that you kind of get your only glimpse in this game into the lore through collecting the armor pieces, because they're found in these capsules. Before you collect the armor piece, there's a Dr. Light, like very identifiably Dr. Light hologram that talks to you and tells you a little bit about what his hopes were for you. And you can kind of fill in the gap a little bit. And I think it added to the mystique of like what happened, right? Because there's no Wily in these games either, so he's presumably dead. Well, it's 100 years later, so he's presumably dead. There are fan theories though that there's a robot in the, I think it's the second game as part of the X Hunters or third game. And people think that robot is actually Wily.
I'm trying to remember his name. Wasn't it like I don't even remember. It was like Sergey or something, or Sergey.
Yeah, yep, that's it, Sergey.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a whole brave new world, and there's one capsule where you go get the armor, and you have to fight a mini boss before it. That boss looks like something straight out of classic Mega Man. He does not look like he belongs. You guys know what I mean about his design?
Yeah, and it's the body too. So like, one of the interesting things about that boss was that in the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, when you're on Mega Man X, it shows Sigma and X and Zero and all of the 8 Mavericks, but it also has that mini boss in the picture too. Like he was supposed to be something greater than what he was.
Well, it's just, not only does he look out of place, his method of attacking you is really low tech compared to everything else, right? Like he just has that one like little stretchy arm and he jumps.
Yeah.
It just feels a lot more like a mini boss from those games. Like he's almost a leftover. Like he's a last ditch security effort that Light put into place to protect that capsule. So.
It could be. I mean, it's definitely a good way to look at it.
Takes more of a beating than some of the Mavericks.
Oh my god, yeah, he has so much life.
You know, it's like cars, right? They used to make cars out of these big, heavy steel bodies. Now they make them out of plastic. You know.
Yeah.
We weren't messing around. So you beat the Mavericks, you get all the weapons, and then you do something that's akin to a Wily Tower, except there's no map. So you're just like doing stage after stage, and you're like, I don't know when this is going to end.
Yeah, you know what was kind of cool about the original games is like they actually did a good job where it like showed the line like to the next stage. Like it actually is mapped out in that line, which was so you can kind of expect like if the line was going straight up that you're going to do a lot of climbing. In the X series, it does not do that. So it's just stage after stage.
In this game, they also don't have you fight all of the Mavericks in a row. They spread them out through the stages.
They did that in Mega Man 1 also.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it's okay. But
Where
I
do
think
you guys stand on boss rushes in general? Because I actually love them, but
I do
they're
too.
considered very unpopular.
I do too, but I kind of like it how, like, the original Mega Man does it, like where it's like you're at the end of the game, and then like you literally get your 8 capsules that you have to enter, and it's one after another. That's just, I love that.
I think
This game,
X immediately pivots that way in the second game, I believe.
yeah, it probably does. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, the series does eventually go in that direction. I know all the PS1 games do that, and I know X7 does that, and X8 does that.
The only thing that I find kind of weak about the boss rushes in Mega Man games specifically is that there are so many bosses that get completely neutered by their weakness. So it's like it
Yeah,
feels just kind of like a hurdle that isn't necessary.
The
right. I
bosses in
mean,
this game get pretty neutered by their weakness.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I mean.
this might be like, I think this is like an unpopular opinion, but like in X5, when you do the boss gauntlet in there, the hit points that the boss has is almost as the same length as the screen. So I
From
mean,
from top to bottom, you mean?
yes,
This is the
yeah.
whole
So
health bar.
so basically, like, they're really tanky, but at the same time, it's like you can't just destroy them with their weakness. You know what I mean? Like, you still actually have to like fight them. Most of the time, if you got their weakness, they just get stun locked until they die. So it's like, where is the challenge in that, essentially?
Yeah, I think boss rushes are good to reflect on the skills that you've picked up through the game. But if you have the weaknesses to all these enemies and they are so effective that it basically makes them like regular enemies like Sting Chameleon or
Yeah,
Spark Mandrill, or
right.
it's like, what's the point?
What should have happened was, it's like right before you get to the boss gauntlet, like Sigma like does like a sneak attack or something, and like disables your special weapon.
Oh,
So
and you get
you,
knocked into a wall and lose all your upgrades, and you have to go through Brinstar and Norfair to get it all back.
yeah, but
I
that's exactly what happens. Like, X has to go through Brinstar.
No joke though. I think Metroidvanias are the way to save the Mega Man X series.
Dude, I would be for it, honestly.
Like, I don't see why some of the abilities you pick up from Mavericks couldn't be traversal in nature, even if it's just to open a different color
Well,
door.
that's like
Like,
ZX, isn't it? Isn't that
Yeah, they
Metroidvania esque?
kind
yeah,
of.
they tried it like a little bit
It's
into
still
that
mission
direction.
based though. It's not
Yeah,
like, yeah, like it still will set you in a place to do a mission, but you can
I
get back to that place though.
I feel like they could have executed it better, but you know,
So a few, like, I know this is kind of off topic, but I had a strong desire to make a Metroidvania that played like Mega Man X, and I was going to start learning how to code and try and do this whole thing, but the, the difference was that you would play a wizard that had a wand, and you would basically cast that were like X pellets, right? And you could charge it to do other stronger ones. And I wanted it to be a Metroidvania, but the reason that I wanted you to be a wizard and not a robot is because I wanted you to fight creatures of the night like vampires and skeletons and demons and all that kind of stuff. And it was just kind of like you know, this idea that I really, really wanted to make work, but never had the time. But
life got in
like,
the way.
so your idea of saving Mega Man through a Metroidvania was something that I was thinking about like years ago.
People love Metroidvanias, man, but like I feel like what would make the Mega Man one different is the setting. Like Metroidvanias are either horror themed or space horror themed, and that's kind of what you get. And they're all somewhat mysterious and horror themed, right? Like, but the Mega Man X one could just be, well, except the Ninja Turtles: Revenge of the Foot Clan 3 on the Game Boy, but the X one could be just that same, like, X storyline and feel, post apocalyptic, just more exploration, and you just bump into the Mavericks somewhat coincidentally.
Yeah, if they ever decide to go that route, all I would say is I wouldn't be mad. Like,
Honestly, I'd take anything at this point, except
yeah.
another X7.
Well, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to flop.
Yeah,
I want a good game, but
because then Capcom will be like, "See, we told you it doesn't work." You're gonna be like,
yeah, we experimented with X7 Remastered. You guys didn't like it, so yeah, we're not making a new game.
scum.
We a topic we haven't brought up yet is the music.
We actually did
Like,
a Discord poll for our music because this game is one of those that has banger after banger after banger after banger. Is there a bad song? Yeah, probably Sigma's Castle 2 and 3, I think, are pretty like
Yeah, they're
Garbo.
very far and few in between. Like I would say, like this game in particular is definitely top 5 for the SNES library for
But,
like best soundtrack.
We asked people what their favorite of 4 songs were, or to list their favorites, and I think I kind of hit it on the head, except Flame Mammoth wasn't in the original poll, but a couple people said Flame Mammoth. So we had Spark Mandrill with 38% of the votes. We had Boomer Kawanger, which I think is so underrated
It is.
that people just forget. But it got no votes. Storm Eagle, of course, is the big winner here with 50% of the votes. And Sigma Stage 1 is my personal favorite. I was the only person who voted for Sigma Stage 1. But I'm telling you, so, I'm just going to go first on my part because I'm the least musically inclined here. I love the Sigma Fortress Stage 1 because it's when the tone shifts. Like, you go from that, action setting, action kind of lightheartedness, fighting all the Mavericks to, now you're on a mission. Like you're out for it. It's over. This is the final stretch.
Yeah, time to get serious kind of thing.
And like the music tiff show, the music shifts tone in its intro to that. It has that like quiet intro, and then it kind of like ramps up with that little like SNES guitar riff where it's like, yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's but you're just feeling it. You're like, yeah.
Get him, X.
Yeah, get him. I got my armor, my sub tanks are ready to go. So anyway, that's why I like it.
Yeah, it's not a bad theme. It's not one of my favorites, but like I can definitely see where you're going with that one.
It's no Our Blood Boils.
Oh, dude, that's a good one. That's from X7, from when you're fighting Sigma, for people who don't know. But when I was a kid, I really, really loved Storm Eagle, and it's still one of my favorites. But as an adult, I think I'm favoring more of Spark Mandrill. Like I just love that song. It's just like fast, high tempo, like everything about it is just awesome.
Did you feel that way before we were on the gaming couch and I pointed out to you that I think Spark Mandrill's the best song in the game?
Maybe, like I don't know. It's just like there's just some of these songs that like if you like just sit there and listen and appreciate it, you're just like, oh wow, like that's actually really good. Like for example, like I think it was Armored Armadillo. No, Launch Octopus. I didn't really care for that theme, but if you actually sit there and like listen to it, it's actually pretty good.
It is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I love Flame Mammoth's theme too. So like, my top 3 would be Spark Mandrill, Storm Eagle, and then Flame Mammoth.
Me too. They are all exceptional.
And it's one of those soundtracks that leans into the quirks of the SNES shit. Like, I feel like we talk about this from time to time, especially in the 16-bit era, like really before consoles started to be CD players and have real sound chips in them. There were the composers that tried to stuff something onto a sound chip that didn't work, and then there were the other ones that leaned into it, and this one is like one of those soundtracks that you're like, damn, how did they get that sound chip to make these noises?
Yeah. I do too, like with some games. It's like, how do they do it? But I want to do a shout out for the head composer, which was Setsuo Yamamoto, who was he was a legend for making the soundtrack.
Might even be the best soundtrack on the SNES.
That's what I'm saying. It's top 5
be.
for me. I mean, I know you got like Donkey Kong and stuff like that.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Country 2, Final Fantasy 6, Chrono Trigger. All amazing. Yeah. It's hard to pick one.
But it's right there with those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, for an action game, dude, the music hits perfectly.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to talk about this game because it's been talked about a bunch by a lot of people, and it's been talked about probably even more by the 3 of us collectively, privately, and not on a podcast.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we brought you all some thoughts about, the series itself. Maybe you hadn't thought about before. I guess the one thing I want to leave with is the timeline itself. So we go from this, just to make sure I have this right. So we go from this X era, and we go to the Zero era, which is immediately after that. And my
Yep.
understanding is like, I don't know, like 500 years go by or something like that, and then we get to the Mega Man Legends era.
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Mega Man Legends is like the last in the
Yeah,
series,
ZX is before that.
right? So yeah, it's like Mega Man Zero, then ZX. Oh wait, no, and then Battle Network. I think. Well, where does Battle Network land?
I think Battle Network's a parallel dimension where Light
Oh,
leans into coding instead of robots. Like Light, and Wily doesn't like him because Wily did lean into robots, but society didn't go that way, and now he's jealous and old and hateful.
yeah,
Where is Mega Man Soccer and all this?
in the trash.
At the there it is, there it is. That's why X is not Rock, because we know at the end of Mega Man Soccer he dies.
Playing soccer.
Remember, you beat that last fight and the castle just blows up, and you don't get to see Mega Man get out of there. So there it is. That's the missing link. We all hated it. That's why. That's why we didn't
That's
know.
funny. Dr. Light was just too ashamed that he died to that, and he was like, "Really, dude? I'm just gonna start from scratch."
He was just a helper bot anyway. Got
And rolls like, he was my brother.
deactivated. Turned into Alia. It's just the three of us this time. This is not a Gaming League episode, unfortunately, but fortunately we got to play it. And for our 50th episode, I'd say Mega Man X is a pretty cable clubby series, wouldn't you guys?
Hell yeah, go play it if you haven't.
Yeah, and
Such a good game.
you know, I like to say playing games these days is like reading books. When people first started to read books a lot, there was a chance you all read the same book and you could all talk about it. But nowadays, it is so rare that I feel you can find another human being who has played the same games that you have. And this is one of those treasured experiences between the three of us, I think, that we can still talk about and BS and get together and pick up where
Yeah.
we left off with.
Yeah, it's so true that you said that. There's just so many games out there now that it's just like, ugh.
Half the time I don't even know the game by name that someone's trying to talk to me about.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just how it is nowadays. There's just so many games that like you're not gonna be like like the next person.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
It is, but it isn't, right? Games have evolved. Now more people can play them. More people enjoy them. They have different kinds of challenges, right? It's just that unfortunately we don't get to talk to each other about all the same experiences, have those shared experiences.
Yeah, and back in the day, games got released like with such space in between them that you could play all the like AAA games back in the day, and
be
your
up
friends
to
could all
date.
play them.
Yeah, you'd be up to date and everything.
But
Like,
now
all right,
you
I'm ready
pick
for
up
the
a
next one.
Yeah, but now when you pick up a AAA game, it takes you 6 months to 100% it.
Yeah.
It's like it takes so long.
Well, that and it's like indie games are actually getting up there too with like quality. Just like look at Expedition 33, like Clear Obscure, like that. I've heard that game's like amazing. So it's just like I can't even keep up, man.
Indie games have reached a, I'd say more or less the most sophisticated indie games are definitely getting to that like PlayStation 4 level of both like sophistication and graphics now. So like I feel like when I say indie game, what I think of immediately are things like Slay the Spire or Skull or Undermine or
Celeste.
Celeste, right? Like souped up versions of retro games, basically. But no, it's not really that anymore.
No.
Times they are changing, but we can always go back to the year 21XX and still have a good time. So
Right.
we're not entering it into the league, but if we were, guys, where do you think it would land?
Instant Master. Or on our league right now it would be Ultra, but I would be slapping an Ultra, no question.
Yeah, it's probably Ultra. I mean, it's competing with some heavy hitters like StarCraft and Paper Mario and all that, and I think it deserves to be up there with those.
During our anniversary episode, we did go and put Mega Man Battle Network 3 in our Master Ball tier the first time we ever did this. So, there is our own thoughts. And I would agree. Would you put this game above Donkey Kong 2, Steve?
overall, personally, that's a very hard question, but I think Donkey Kong Country 2 is a slightly better experience overall, but like personally, I like Mega Man more than Donkey Kong. It's a really hard question. I think Donkey Kong Country 2 is just something extra special. Probably slightly above X, but I love them both. It's hard to
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah, for me, like nowadays, like I have a hard time like playing games twice. It's like usually like I'll play a game once and just not even play it for like 10 plus years. I can always pick up an X game for the most part and always have fun. X is one of my Mega Man X is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm actually kicking myself for not, nominating Mega Man X instead of Pokemon Gold and Silver. I just should have went with the game that I wanted to pick. I was just trying to go for like the meta pick, but like I'm just way more passionate about like the X
I
series.
didn't understand the assignment.
Our collective love of X might actually make me put it above Paper Mario, maybe. Like just as a personal effect, I think Paper Mario is still probably a better game, but I think just like the amount that we've enjoyed Mega Man X, like I there's a chance I would put it up with there. So yeah, Dan, you messed up.
I did. You know, I'll learn from it.
Anywho, so we've gushed on about this game for a while, so let's close this guy out. I'd just like to close out and say thank you to the people who listen, and we really appreciate you, especially if you've been listening week after week. If you have the time, I would really love it if you would click over to wherever the reviews are on the platform you're listening to us on and just leave us a review. A totally honest review. I'm not asking for 5 stars here, but it helps us get better as a show, helps the algorithm recognize that we exist, and just makes me feel good because numbers go up. So
Me
that's
happy.
probably yeah, me happy. It's probably the best way to help the show right now at this very moment in time. The other best way to help the show is to just join the Discord. Come and hang out with us. We're trying to be better about playing more games on the couch and just get impromptu hangout sessions going. You get access to us. We'll probably invite you on the show. Just a good band of fellas hanging out. We've also partnered with a bunch of other podcast folks that hang out with us too. We're kind of building our own little corner of the internet here, and come on and be a part. The Discord link is in the description of this episode somewhere, so it's not too far to get. And then I would also say that our theme music, both the front and end of it, is made by Cubby, unknowingly. But his Bandcamp is in the link description, so check that out. And then we are a self-edited, self-made podcast here, so all this awesome and not so awesome graphic design and editing you see is done by all of us together. So I think that's all I had to say, guys. Help me out here. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. Just jump on the couch. We had a blast playing Mega Man X like these past couple of weeks. It was great. Like I wish we'd get more people to come in.
Yeah.
We don't bite, at least not much.
So we're gonna set Mega Man X aside, and our next game is a League episode. So we're going to continue this thing. We have a few of them lined up, so there's not going to be a break in the League for a little while. So the next game is of my least favorite genre, which is horror, because I'm a scaredy little bee when it comes to... I'll watch like the most grotesque, murdery horror movies and won't bat an eyelash, but I hate playing it. I don't like playing it.
Yeah, because it's like a sense of like you're that character. It's like you're in that universe.
Like, if I was in that universe and I was Mega Man X and I was dashing all over the place and shooting regenerators and what are the Dead Space things called?
Oh, dude, I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever those horrible things are called. Like if you were a cool character and blowing those things away, like in Doom, that's fine. But
yeah, when you're OP as hell.
But it's not Doom we're playing. We're playing a continuation of arguably one of the best PlayStation 1 games ever. This one is on the PlayStation 2. It is Silent Hill 2.
Oh wow. Yeah, we had a blast with the first one, and I've heard this one is even better.
It's only as good if I can get the what's it, the axe or whatever.
The hammer. Yeah.
The hammer.
Those nurses don't stand a chance.
Insert Pyramid Head meme here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That's when he shows up too. Isn't he kind of like Mr. X or Nemesis of like the Resident Evil?
Kind
Like
of, except sometimes you encounter him doing things that are not chasing you.
Oh, okay. But we got to
It's
get in
weird.
the couch and play this.
You guys have to play it with me, or else I won't.
Yeah, we
I'm
got to
not
get
playing
in.
this
I
game.
had such a blast playing the first one on the couch. It was so fun.
Yeah, I had so much fun playing it on the couch that I put it above Resident Evil 2.
Well, yeah,
and it might not deserve to be ahead of Resident Evil 2, but because I had so much fun, I had to put it ahead of
yeah,
it.
I was about to say that. Like, it skewed our votes because of how much fun we had playing it together.
How quickly you guys forget garbage camera angles and off-screen deaths. It's horror Zelda. Join us next time for more of that. Game over, fellas?
Game over.
Game over.